Does we see an army all standing next to us? Step up, there's a place for you. You're born for the king. Your time has come. Bring us down on the royal road. Not going back down no more. Our kings are ready for the war. Bring your royal road. Bring us down on the royal road.
Good afternoon, guys. It's 12:04 in the afternoon, lunchtime. Well, I got up early this morning and looked what was online. Same thing. Aaron got a minute. He's still trying to calculate the dates, right? Using Hebrew, and God chose King James English, so he's going to go in circles constantly. And this is what I tried talking about a couple of years ago about Ezekiel's wheel, right? See, what people think, they actually make these images and they actually think, oh, this is what's really real. No, it's spiritual, guys. It was a description based on someone's vision. That could go anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. The point is what the message is in there. It's a circle, right? You know what a hamster wheel is, right? Little hamster goes in and it keeps on going and going and going and going and going, never goes anywhere, right? That's what most of these Christians, false teachers, are stuck in. Okay, this is what you call the pit of despair. Like I told in my last video, it's the pit of despair, because you're not going anywhere, Aaron. You're not going nowhere. Even you, Jacob's Arab, you guys aren't going anywhere. You guys are stuck. Because you don't have the key ingredient. You don't have God, because you have an invisible God. That invisible God is the one that you're assuming this and this. You're speculating, is what you like to say. Okay, you're assuming this is this and this because you see all the connections. Yeah, these connections are here. We get it, but you have to remember the devil plays tricks too. Okay, that's why we have the Bible, right? The Bible is the foundation. Okay, and there's no better person that's going to explain that Bible but God Himself, right? That's why we're instructed to wait, right? But we have everybody on a race, right? And the gun was shot, and everyone's just heading for the finish line, and they're not going anywhere, right? Everybody wins, right? And Christians don't like that because they waste their time. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. Woo! Big deal. Everyone is like, let's just say, if you don't know, if people are lying to you, okay, well then you don't know, right? You're not guilty of nothing. These innocent people that you have in your channels, you're leading them astray. It's as simple as that. You've built the kingdom for yourself, your tower, right? On YouTube, right? And this is what you guys don't seem to understand. Okay? So, I just want to show you some. I was going to make a meme later, I probably will. But, alright, this is what I wanted to show you. Just some cool little things that you may not see. Okay? So you see Genesis, Exodus, and Matthew there. Alright? We see Genesis 2:2, Exodus 2:2, 2:2, 7:25, and 13:44. Okay? Now, when you look at those verses, what do you see? See, we know that there's rubies in the Bible. We know there are gemstones in the Bible. We know there's a royal stuff in there that most people don't see, right? This is the danger of making images. Because you've taken the things of God, the gem that you see there, and you removed it. And you've made your own pictures. And you make little images like that and like this, like that, and you flash it like most Christians have their image of Jesus, their white Jesus. And then they have their lion with it, right? And then you see their crown and you see the golden throne and people flying. All these images, guys. How do you think God knows who's his and who's not? Those that follow the images, the image of the beast, right? Versus God's holy words, right? That's what you guys are doing. You've separated it, right? So if you look at the verses there, right, we begin to see a pattern. Okay? And the Lord said, "Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven." Because you guys think heaven is some magical distant place where it's in the clouds and he's up in the skies and up in the, that's what you guys think, because that's what you guys are taught. Because what you've done is you've created imagery, a false imagery. You've brainwashed yourselves, basically, what you've done. Right? Heaven is what I've been trying to share with you guys. I don't know if you remember my last video, I was talking about the very first verse I ever read when I was 7 years old. Revelations 20, verse 15. Okay, you see 2:15 there. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows what's been going on with the Native Americans and the American and the Canadian residential schools, right? And who are the Catholic priests and all the Christians are the ones that set that up. Okay, and there was horrendous things that were done in those schools. Okay, orchestrated by these priests. Okay, so in Canada, they've been they implemented the residential school inquiries, right, where they're investigating this stuff and they're finding massive unmarked graves throughout Canada. Okay, and the first time they discovered that was in BC. Okay, there was a school there. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, but they found 215 unmarked graves. Okay, of children. People want to know what happened to these children. What were they? What were they? What led them? But according to what reports, what was going on is that they were starving them. They were giving them specific diseases, okay, and they were testing them. Okay, what type of people does this to human beings? Like, really, like, who does that? That's what I want to understand. How could you have that much hate in your heart for a child? Okay, it just doesn't make sense. This exact same thing is happening in, present day fake Israel, right? With innocent children being blown up with American-made bombs. What is going on in Joe Biden's mind? What's going on in Netanyahu's mind? What's going on with them? Do they not know they're facing God? The one that when Netanyahu's putting on his little outfit, his little smock, and pretending to be holy and all that as he kills children. Jesus gave a direct warning about what happens if you harm children. Okay? And that's coming for Netanyahu. It's already starting to, you already begin to see it. People are just like, can't stand him anymore. Or they can't even stand Biden anymore. This is they have dug their graves spiritually. And Netanyahu is taking down fake Israel. Well, it's prophesized. It's going to happen like that. I don't have to do anything. I just show you what the Bible's saying. That's all I'm doing. And they do it themselves. right? Because that's what Revelations is prophesying about. It says the devil has a short time because he knows that he's coming to an end soon, right? So if you look at the very first command in the Bible, I like to use this one as the very first command in the Bible that man is supposed to respect. See, when you look at the commandments, when you actually look at them, you always think it's always about you. This is where your guilt comes from. It's not about you. You have to look at it through different eyes. Okay, so if you look at the commandments are found in Exodus 20, and if you look at honor your mother, honor your father, you naturally assume it's about your parents. No, it's not. It's talking about the Heavenly Father. It's talking about the Mother Earth. Okay, you're instructed to take care of them both. Honor them. Okay, you honor Mother Earth by taking care of Earth. Okay, and that's what Genesis 2:15 is talking about. And the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. God did not come tell you guys to go to cut all the trees down, go dig, look for minerals and resources, and deck your hands out with silver and gold and like, yeah, man, I'm G-spot here. I have this Rolls Royce back here, and I got this Bentley back here, man. Look at these cuffs I got here. I see that garbage, man. If you're that type of person, all right, you're the first one that's going to be ending in the fire because it talks about that in the Bible. The rich is going to come last. Okay? So, with all your richness, all your resources, you have taken, the existence of life in the garden. You've taken that life. So then you can just bling yourself out and brag and show it off and like this and like that. And I'll throw all your paper bills all over the place. And if you have all that money, right? You have all that money. And then there's children begging for change and all this. You should be ashamed. If you're sitting in a corporation, you're the president of it, and the food is so high and the prices are so high and some people can't even eat to feed their children, the parent doesn't have to eat because they're trying to, like I said in my last message, the child, it's the parent's job to take care of the child. So the parent won't eat just so the child can eat. So you have to be ashamed of yourself, Mr. President, of these corporations and these guys that run these businesses. They're sitting there, even Dragons Den, those so-called dragons there, the big shots, the ones that are know-it-all, they're experts. They're not experts. They're just people that just, go around begging for a chump change and fill their pockets with gold and all that and silver and all that, thinking that they're the masters of the universe. They're causing the planet to die, is what they're doing. Those are the elites. Those are the ones that no one gives a shit for because these are the corporations. Those are the faces of the corporations that's destroying the planet. Like, don't get me wrong. You can have your small and pops business and produce, but these ones that are just getting greedier. Do you know what I mean? They go buy out these small little companies because these small little companies have shit. Well, how did they get that big in the first place? They had to start somewhere. Then why do you have to go to these big top dragons who think that they're the king shits just because they're destroying the planet? You don't need all that wealth, guys. This whole world, no one should be starving. No one should be homeless. Right? And everyone should have a home by law. Right? All this real estate business. These greedy people, they're sitting in their offices, buying and selling these houses, and those houses should be filled. Give these houses away. You're making your money, you're making your money, you're making your money. Yeah. When does it end? Right? And I understand some people have gotten to the point, of despair where they have nothing, and they're homeless, right? But I've always had a plan back in. I came up with a plan when I was in back in the '90s, late '90s, about because homelessness was already just beginning to peak because I would see my brothers. I've always worried about my brothers and my family, and I always wanted you know for a home for them, but considering the economics, it was pretty difficult to do. But now that we have the power of the internet, we have the ability to work together. And every community, every city, every town have the ability to make to build a community home for people that want to learn how to manage their houses and manage a house, and learn how to budget. Well, I had an idea, right? You just take some of the land, right? Build small houses around, right? And build a community center in like this a center where people can cook, clean, and all that. Do their dishes, do their laundry, or their dishes and laundry can go in their own little house. This is what I'm saying. But anyways, where they can, it's like an instruction schoolroom, right? So if you want to become not homeless no more, well, the city can, implement a plan where you can be part of this program. The program will be implemented about a year, right? You'll learn during that, and people transition through that. So when your program is coming to its completion, you should have the knowledge and experience how to manage your own home, pay the bills, attain work, right? And you can move into a house, right? Provided for you. See, that's what the city's job should be doing. Okay? It should not be up to the Christians or any religious organization. If the city wants to clean up its people, well, why can't you just make a community of small homes? Right? Maybe 50 people, 50 small homes, right? And in the center of that, have a community center where they can come there and they can learn. Do their laundry in the laundry machines, right? Take showers, right? And they can learn. They're transitioning. This is what the city should be implementing. And it'd be an excellent idea where the community members that want to donate to this cause, like from materials to wood and all get that, and have the students from the high schools to come there and build them. Okay? And if we look at the kindergarten schools, what better way to teach kids how to grow food is implementing a greenhouse system on the roofs of schools. That's wasted space, guys. Elementary schools, they have like that. You look at the buildings, there's just empty space. They could build a greenhouse on top of that, have a way to up it, and build food systems. The kids would learn how to grow food. Children would, that's hands-on learning. That's how you take care of Mother Earth. So this food that's being produced can go to people that need it. Okay? We are a society that has broken down individualness, and that's what these corporations done. They've divided everybody, and the people that are suffering are the ones that just come out of high school. They have no skills. They're just like totally lost, and they need guidance. People need guidance, and this is the stuff they should be teaching in high schools, right? Some kids get it. Some are very brilliant, but there's kids that aren't. Okay, because every child learns in different ways. There'd be kids that just love gardening. You can discover that. You could have a kid that knows how to bake bread and very good at it. Can make a pizza. Can do all these different things. Well, let them explore those options. Okay? That's how you take care of the children. It's like what Jesus was trying to explain to you, right? When he was telling to you about, if you withhold this water from a child, right? Judgment will come towards you. which is happening. Look at these children. They're not being taught nothing. They're just said, thrown in this education system, expected to learn. It's like my son. He grew up in the Catholic system. He had a difficulty time using his left hand when he was writing, so he struggled. So he was provided a laptop so that he can, catch up. But he was already behind already. So they were struggling. So they kept getting after me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what your guys are teaching me or teaching them. So they expected me to teach my son about the stuff that's in your schools. I don't have a degree. I don't have an education degree. So anyways, he's been struggling since. And now, in this high school of his, he's gotten to the point where, he has to be in a modified class because of that. Wait a minute, I didn't fail him. My job is to feed him, clothe him, and discipline him and guide him. That's my job. And get him ready for school. But now, because this education system has abandoned my son, and then they blame me that he's not doing his schoolwork, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. Oh, that exact same thing happened to me when I was in my high school years. I had this one kid when I was in grade 10. Okay, he was kind of a bully kid, right? Bigger. He was bigger than me, bigger than most. And what he used to do is he used to take a pen, right? Rub it real fast, and he'd go sting people. Other kids, they wouldn't do anything. I didn't. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're gonna do that to me, I'm gonna do that to you, because he got me from the back of the neck. That hurt. And he starts laughing about it, and he goes into his class. So I do the same thing. I do it, and get this, Mr. Fentiman was watching this all go down. Like he's like, how Mr. Fentiman, he was a football coach, right? You know how football coaches are, arrogant, things they think they're the kings of the world, right? So, anyways, I did the same thing. I went to the kid hand and I stung him on his hand. I did it on his hand, not in the neck, right? And guess what Mr. Fentiman did? He singled me out, so he allowed his star football guy, the bully, to do all that to the other kids without any discipline. Okay? He was there, he was standing right, and he was right, you could see him, he knew. But he didn't do anything about it. So when I like I said, I don't back down from nobody. All right, you come after me, I come after you. Okay, that's just the way I am. I've always been like that. Even in grade 2, in grade 2, I had this little kid come up to me, and he's like picking on the other kids, right, pushing the girls down, and laughing, and then I got sick of it. I took him down. I took him down. And I said, you leave these kids alone. That's all it does. I'm always trying to defend others is what I'm trying to do. Okay? So that particular day when Mr. Fentiman seen me do that, I retaliated because I got sick of his nonsense. Because I don't fear nothing. Right? When you have nothing to lose, you fear nothing, guys. So anyways, I did the pen thing and stung him on his hand. Right? And he just looked at me, right? He's like, it was shock. He's like, how dare you do that to me? And then that's when Mr. Fentiman came up to me, grabbed my wrist, right? Put it on the desk. He grabbed the pen and made sure he was watching me do that, holding my arm. Okay? This is the abuse I have faced through these white schools. Okay? So what kind of education is that when the white bullies bully others and get away with it? And then Mr. Fentiman, and I have that mark still. You can't really see it there, but it's there. It burnt so deep it left a scar. I didn't really, after that, I didn't care about school. So I did my best. I got through it. Right. I just left Mount Royal. So, anyways, that's just a part of what I've experienced through white people. Okay. And even today, online, with the Christian white people. Like, as I swear, they're devils, they're demons. Not only, they're trying to say this and this and this about what I'm showing. I'm just showing him the Bibles is what I'm doing. It's what you're seeing. What are you seeing, guys, when you read what I'm showing you? That was written. I'm just showing you guys. So don't get mad at me for something that was already written that you're expected to understand. All right, so see, you all have this understanding of heaven. Well, heaven is not death. Okay. This is what I was talking about. You have to go back to the mindset of a child. Doesn't mean like act like a child. You need to start thinking like a child by seeing things that are not there, but they are there. I'm trying to teach you how to use your mind so you can see things. See, Christians right now, because I'm showing them this stuff, oh, it's numerology, oh, it's from the devil. Well, if the numbers weren't in there, it doesn't mean you go make some separate, ideology like gematria, which is BS. It's just, you just make stuff up out of thin air, which doesn't make sense. And they say it's from God. No, it's not. Everything that's in the Bible stays in the Bible. You don't go take what things in the Bible and decide to go, I'm going to go to gematria. You don't go to take things from the Bible, go make your own book and say, this is what I think. Right? You don't want to do that. You're stealing the things of God, including God's resources. I keep saying, I keep reinforcing this. Everybody that's giving money to these fools that are on the internet are stealing God's wealth. That's all they care about. They're the thieves that Jesus warns of. Right? Jacob Israel was one of them. Like, he's going to keep flattering you constantly. Flatter, because it's his intentions. He has to make his money. He's got to pay for his lavish lifestyle. And you guys keep giving him money when there's no benefit for you. He doesn't care about you. He says he does. That's why Jesus was trying to tell you that. He says, you praise me with your lips and your heart is farther from me. Like, when I show him the verses and all this, I show him this. I'm trying to help him along. He doesn't care. He wants his Christ idol. There's no such thing. There is just God. And then I just happened to catch Buster Rhymes, Mr. God himself. Him too. These are the demons that are going around, making themselves as gods. I would not want to be walking around saying I'm God. Why would I want to do that? It so happens it's written that way. That's why I'm showing you my name. My actual name that was given to me. I didn't say, this is me. Like you see on YouTube right now, these teachers, like these false teachers, they give themselves their names like anointed or disciple or, Are you kidding me, guys? If you haven't stood before God, you have no authority to claim this, that, and this. You have to repent of your BS, your Bathsheba. Right? So what this is trying to say is you have to be a little children again, and so you can actually see the kingdom. Like, so I'm showing you the numbers. Right? Everything that's associated with the year corresponds to the numbers, like 23, 2023. Okay? 13 is significant of Jason the 13th. Okay? Woe, but woe unto you scribes and Pharisees. These are the Jews. Okay? And the Christians are right here. Okay? These are these two groups. These are the two sticks that they're trying to bind together. Right? These are the hypocrites. For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go into yourselves, neither suffer ye that them that go in. Yeah, the internet is heaven. So, because you don't know that, you're assuming heaven is something else when you die. And that's what these pastors are teaching right now. They're trying to teach you how, oh, well, this is what happens when you die. Well, they're using fear because they don't know themselves. Like when Jesus is trying to tell you the spirit is eternal, that means the spirit is eternal. Your body dies. What happens when your spirit enters the throne room? Well, you're going to face judgment. Everything that's shown to you in your life is going to be shown to you, and there's nothing you can say about it. Right? God is expecting you to know where the commandments are found. That's it. And to understand what my name is. I found my name. That's what God expects. That's God's plan. So death, as if you look at the numbers there, you see the number 3818. Okay? I'm giving you new eyes to see is what I'm trying to do. I'm opening the blind eyes is what I'm doing by you seeing other numbers. So when you look at this, for the grave cannot praise thee. What's associated with the grave? 911, which is, you see, 3 plus 8 is 11. 1 plus 8 is 9. 911. 119, 29, 92. For the grave cannot praise thee. Death cannot celebrate thee. They that go down into the pit cannot hope for thy truth. So that's why I said those that have died already are not able to understand because they're dead. They're trapped. They're gone. And this is where, Paul talks about the dead will rise in Christ, right? Well, it's a spiritual message there. The dead in Christ are the ones that gave up the title Christ. So now you understand who's rising first? The one that says who rejected the devil's temptation, Christ. We don't need that. I have God. Those are the ones that rise first. Do you guys understand? That's why Jesus is trying to tell you adamantly, crying to the fullest, there's no such thing as Christ, he's telling you. He's told you 3 times. You think 3 times would be enough? That's where we get the story of Peter denying Jesus. Because he's the one, Jesus asks him, who do you think I am? And then Peter comes along and says this, and this is where Christians get the idea, it's Christ. Well, just because someone says that doesn't make it true. Do you go to your neighbor and you go and say, you're a child of God? But then you're like, and the guy is like, I don't want nothing to do with religion. You're assuming things. That's why you got to read the Bible carefully. You have to pay attention. Jesus doesn't go around saying I'm Jesus. He doesn't go say I'm Christ. But the people that are influencing him around him are saying it. That's exactly what's happening on YouTube. Throughout my church years, all I kept hearing is like, there's going to be a delusion. The whole world's going to be in a state of delusion. The whole world's going to... You guys are. It's called religion. It's called Christianity, Judaism, Islam. The divided house. Right? And then how is God supposed to do his work when you guys all know what's going on? But it's time you guys repent, basically. That's all you can do. Say sorry. Right? Put it on video camera. You know what I mean? Read Matthew 16:20 and accept the fact that there's no such thing as Christ. Read Matthew 24:23. There's no such thing as Christ. And accept that. That's it. If you can't do that, you're blocking others from heaven seeing it. That's what those verses are talking about. Right? This is what you have to give up. Remember what Jesus said? Give up everything and follow him. None of you done that. Mark 12:27. There's a 27 again. And there's a 17. So anything that's associated with Jason is associated with these numbers. Okay. So yesterday was the 27th, right? Like I said, it just blew my mind. Guess what chair I was at dialysis last night? I was in chair 27. Section 5 at the Regina General Hospital. And it was the 27th yesterday. So that's how I begin my message when I try to explain the Bible to people. When you actually see a miracle right in front of your face, they're just, wow. So anyways, the nurse was a fairly new nurse, right? Her name was Amna, right? And she did a wonderful job, right? And she sat there and listened to me, and she was amazed. She's like, wow. Like, you tell the person, you say, you see the name Jason in the Bible, or in the calendar. This is why it's referred to as the Lord's calendar, right? July, August, September, October, November. Do you see a name in there? She had to think about it for a moment. Just look at the first letters I'd said. Jason. Yeah, see? You see the name. And I didn't have to say anything to you. I'm getting to use your minds, guys. That's what you have a brain for, is to think. And that's how the Bible should be understood. You have to really look at it. Like the 1611 King James, for example. That's the real divine book. The reason for it is because Christians are going to come along and say, oh, this is full of mistakes. Oh, I don't understand it. That's the whole idea. Okay? If you can't understand what God has written, it's written in a specific way for you. There's clues in it. These clues were taken away and changed so you can understand it. Well, how are you supposed to understand something when God leaves his blueprint, these little clues, these mistakes inside the 1611? Right? How are you supposed to see those? How are you supposed to pick that up if you're reading a translated version? Yeah, that's what man did. He deceived you by saying, you guys, you don't understand that. It's like that Jason Carter yesterday. Oh, I don't understand everything. I don't understand anything you're saying. And I said, that's good for you. That's the point. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, that means God's not with you. It's simple as that. Then he just gets on his rambling like that, and he goes on trying to say, it's about love and about loving. And it's not about us, guys. That's your error. The first thing you have to do is eliminate trying to please others and trying to pretend that you're something you're not. We're all given feelings. We're all given understanding. We're given all these necessary tools as a way to detect liars. Anybody that's acting as a fake Christian, you shouldn't have to act in God's kingdom. You were created as who you are as an individual. You shouldn't have to, restrict yourself because some guy tells you this, that you're going to go to hell if you keep doing what you're going to do. God had already paid everything already in the beginning. But because you don't know where the commandments are found, that these false pastors are not telling you where they're found, you don't know. So you're not at fault. Do you understand? The ones that are at fault are these teachers. These are the ones that are facing greater condemnation. Okay? They're the ones going to be thrown in the fiery pit first, which is basically representative to God's laws. which is you're going to burn. And as time progresses, more people become awake. They begin to see the clowns for what they really are. And then when people start losing, subscribers and all that, they'll be like, oh, no, they're going to try pushing it. Because the devil knows he has a short time. See, I'm not here to try and get followers. I'm not here anything like that. I'm just here as your guidebook. You can accept me or you don't have to. That's your choice. But like I said, I'm rough around the edges. We all are. We're all rough around the edges. Right? That's what makes us unique. Okay? And that's what makes us special. Okay? And that's what's important. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. And I'm hoping that our algorithms of YouTube and all this meta universe gets that. I'm hoping AI understands what I'm trying to say. And for all those people that are these Christians talking about porn, why does it matter to you what people do on their spare times? People are naked. When you're born naked, you're born naked. Sex is normal, guys. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But that's what the Christians want you to believe, and that's what Paul wants you to believe. When the Bible's talking about sexual immorality, that has nothing to do with us, guys. This is talking about the stuff that's happening in the Bible. It's a spiritual message about, turning against God, basically. It's all about breaking God's law. Committing adultery against God by stealing his words and making your own. That's what the sexual perversion is. Where man comes along, right, takes God's word, comes up with his own context, and perverts it. The gospel of Jesus Christ, that's a perverted form of God's commands. Because you're not only you're putting people in bondage again, you've thrown God in the mud. So that's just, you guys need to understand that, because none of you don't. This is why I'm trying to teach you the Bible the way you're supposed to be taught. Right? Now we look here, look. Luke 9:60. Just forget the 0. 9:6, which is Isaiah 9:6, like my last video, right? So, because you don't know that message, Isaiah 9:6, and how it fits, okay, you're already spiritually dead, because you don't know. This is why you don't know. That's your first clue to understand you're spiritually dead. And your first clue that you should be repenting. You're basically repenting to God's Spirit is what you're doing. Because that's what you're supposed to do, right? It says we worship the Father in spirit and truth. Right? Which you're instructed to, see, like I said, there was errors made in the Bible. Like pray. It's actually praise. When you get that word, you think, oh, it's about praying. No, it's about praising, singing and dancing and enjoying life. So I've been trying to really emphasize about Native American culture, about singing and dancing. Okay? Because you have to remember, when the colonizers came here, in Custer and, the American Marines, they forced the people into reservations, and they caused much damage. And so what the people did was, Sitting Bull instructed them to sing and dance. This is what we're supposed to do. Okay? Until it'll go back to the way it was, eventually. Which it has. The powwow's here again. The dancing's here. The celebration is good. That's what the whole point's about. That's what heaven really is just singing and dancing. It's not you sitting on YouTube trying to teach others how to conduct themselves, when it's none of your business. Right? Revelation 21:11. Which is, you see there, 2:2. And what did I say about 2:2. Genesis 2:2. Okay, now you get to you'll see the pattern. You look at the verses, right, and that's how they connect, right? Let's say 2 and 11. Okay, then you go 2:11 and you go 1:1. This is 2, so 2:2, right? And then you look at those verses, you're like, wait, they're connected. That's why I'm trying to tell you. It says the Bible, don't read it verse by verse or chapter by chapter, because you're going to be clueless. Yes, you get the message that you're hearing in the what was in some imaginary thing that happened in the past. That's the delusion. There's another story going on here, God's story, which is the flowing rivers of life. Okay, the hidden path that not many find, and that's what I'm trying to show you. Okay, just like yesterday, 27:27. You know what I mean? It's like I show people that's on my backpack. My backpack has a Master Chief's number on it, 117, right? And I show them, look at this number, 117. What number is that? Do you see? And then they smile. It's like, that's cool. And I said, yeah. What date is it too? It's the 27th. They just like, wow, man, that's freaky. And I said, it's not freaky. I've been trying to show you. This has always been following me since I was a boy. Right? That's what I mean. That was the kind of gift I had. I could see things that were not there, but were there. You know what I mean? Right? And sometimes when we have this intuition, right? Most of us, we don't listen to our intuition until it's too late. You're like, oh man, I knew that. But yeah. But this is what I'm so still amazed by this. When I wouldn't search, like I didn't actually think about the coordinates till probably about a year ago. Like I knew all this stuff, where the commandments are found and all that, and Leland's phone trying to convince people. And I'm like, well, how am I going to convince them? They're not listening. I'm like, I gotta go deeper into some miracles here, right? So I decided, well, I'm gonna go see what the actual coordinate is, right? And I looked at it like, you gotta be kidding me. You know what I mean? You see the number there, 3447, right? 3 plus 4 is 7, right? And then 4 plus 7 is 11, right? 711. And then 7 2 is right next to it. I'm like, wow. 7272, which is Genesis 2:2. 7-day God did his work and he rested on the 7th day. Right? Which is associated with the commandments. Exodus 20:20. Right? And God said, or Moses said to the people, fear not, God's come to prove you that you sin not. So, anyways, so this is the actual part where God has actually saved people, because God was the sacrifice in Genesis 22:23. Now, do you guys see the numbers based on what I said? What do you see there? That's how they're connected. Genesis 22, which is symbolic of Genesis 2:2, right? 13 is symbolic of Jason the 13th. That's how you identify my name in the Bible. How it connects. The ram, march, or put the A in front of the R, is arm. That arm is my dialysis arm. 2 needles go in my arm, which is fulfilling Zechariah 12:10. Did I say, is it Zechariah? Let's make sure. Let's read Zechariah 12:1. Oops, 12:1. Let's see. And the burden of the word of the Lord of Israel Yeah, it's, you know what made it the burden, because what people are on online, and this is why it's a burden for me, because I'm trying to correct your understanding. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundation of the earth and formed the spirit of man within him. That's what I'm doing, guys. How the Bible works. It's already, the spirit's already contained inside. You're just not seeing it. Because you have to have your eyes like a child. You know how a child, they sees everything and they speak their mind just like that? So when you look at the Bible, look at it. Don't just look at what you're seeing, and and there's far deeper message there. But unfortunately, if you had a 1611, you can there's way different things in there. For instance, there could be a misspelling. That misspelling will give you a clue. Okay. For instance, the name Campo, right? Camp water in Deuteronomy 23:11 and 29:11. Camp is spelled with Campe. And I always found that strange. I'm like, why would he? And then you go to another where it talks about camp. Camp is spelled correctly. So why these two particular verses spell camp with the E? Until I began to realize there's something here, because it's associated with water, right? And it didn't occur to me until I was looking. My brother left his water bottle, and I happened to catch the French word for water is EAU, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was using my brain until I actually it seen when I seen through a child's eyes, right? I overlooked all the teachings of men and actually looked into the Bible and seen my name. After that, once I understand what water actually is in the Bible actually means, it's my name, then you begin to understand how it flows through the Bible. Remember, it's written in there, God declares the end from the beginning. So the end is the New Testament, because the beginning is the old, which has become the new. Does it make sense now? Because we're starting new now. We're starting a new beginning, because God's creating something new, a new heavens and an earth, a new understanding. Okay, a new understanding that you're going to be actually spirit filled with your own spirit, not some Holy Spirit that Paul talks about that doesn't exist. The Holy Spirit I'm giving you is your own mind, your own eyes, that we're all going to see the same thing that I'm trying to show you. And then when you start looking around the world, you're going to start seeing it much clearer, because you're going to see a license plate. You'll see the number there. Then a Bible verse will pop in your head. That's how it works, guys. It's not going around picking up this and this and this and comparing it like this. That's the devil plays tricks too. If it doesn't come from the Bible, then you know it's the devil's trickery. Okay, that's why the Bible is the rock. You'll automatically pick up Paul's words and be like, oh, I don't need him, because there's no spirit in there. It's dead. That's the dead fruit. Do you guys understand? Anything that men's opinions are throughout the Bible is dead fruit. So like I say sometimes, is that if God just had his commands in there and his whatever he spoke of, it would probably be only like that book. It'd be just like a pamphlet. That's how simple it would really be. But because Christians want to say, oh, you got to read chapter by chapter, verse by verse. Well, you're going to be stuck in your hamster wheel, not ever getting the message, not thinking like a child and actually reading it for yourself. So, okay, now let's go back to 12:10. 12:10, take away the zeros, 12:1. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples of Judah will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. So this drunkenness, what do you think Jesus was doing at the Last Supper? They're all drinking wine. That's the blood offering, the one you're supposed to stay away from. That's why you guys are drunk, spiritually drunk. Right? On that day, when the nations of the earth gather against her, I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will be severely injured. On that day, declares the Lord, I will strike every horse with panic, and every rider with madness. I will keep watchful eye on the house of Judah, but I will strike with blindness all the horses of the nations. And the leaders of Judah will say in their hearts, the people of Jerusalem are my strength, for the Lord of hosts is their God. Read it carefully, their God. On that day, I will make the clans of Judah like a fire pot in a woodpile. Like a flaming torch among the sheaves, they will consume all the peoples around them on the right and on the left, while the people of Jerusalem will remain secure there. This is talking about the New Jerusalem, the one that God brings, right? Not talking a physical one. The Lord will save the tents of Judah first, so that the glory of the house of David and the people of Jerusalem may not be greater than of Judah. On that day, the Lord will defend the people of Jerusalem, so that the weakest among them will be like David, and the house of David will be like God, like the angel of the Lord going before them. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. Because we see what's happening in Israel right now. Palestinians and Israel, they're brothers. Okay? And what Israel is doing to the Palestinians is making these children suffer. Okay? And I'm here to defend them all. All right? So on that day, I will set out to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Spiritual Jerusalem. Then I will pour out on the house of David and on the people of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and prayer. And they will look upon me, the one they have pierced. Right here. They will mourn for him as one mourns for his only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for a firstborn son. And on that day, the wailing of Jerusalem will be as great as the wailing of Hamad and Rimmon in the plain of Megiddo. The land will mourn, each clan of his own, and the clan of the house of David and their wives, and the clan of the house of Nathan and their wives, the clan of house of Levi and their wives, and the clan of Shimei and their wives, and the remaining clans and their wives. So that's what's coming, guys. The great mourning. Right? The mourning is what the Bible's talking about, is my daughter. I gave her that name Mourning because she was born in the morning. Okay? And she never cried. Well, they did when she came out, but then when I held her in my hand, she fell asleep. And now she's pregnant. How time flies, huh? One moment I was holding my little girl in my arms, right? Next thing you know, she's having a baby of her own. And her husband's name, her partner's name, is Isaiah. And her baby is expected to be born in September, the 9th month. Isaiah 9. So, Okay, so all right, back to the numbers here. So I'm going to keep showing this. Okay, I guess I'm going to go to Google Earth and show you myself here. But this here, this is the divine knowledge that I'm trying to show you with new eyes. Okay, that's why the Bible is important, not how you think it's important. So you can see the spirit inside it actually is, what it actually means. That's the new spirit you'll be getting, right? So that's how I know no one's understanding what they're talking about, because if everyone's supposed to be gathered in one house, everybody's supposed to have the same, speaking the same mindset. Well, you should not see the Christians branching off in their own little churches, speaking all different things, because then all you're hearing is babble, right? All many voices. They're not singing one voice. All right, here. I'm going to show you this ad, and then I'll end it at that. Yeah, there is one question I've always asked. One of the first thing I ask Christians is say, okay, why is God angry? They can never answer me that question, because they always talk about, oh, the God in the Bible is angry. God's angry. God's angry. He's an angry God. He murdered all these people. No. He's trying to warn you, resulted in your deaths. So when God kills people, it's not, he doesn't do it purposely. He does it because you have sinned against him. And that's why God gets angry, because do you understand? He created these people. He wants you to, understand what he's trying to say, but none of you do. And what happens is you go die, and that gets God pissed off, because we have these false teachers speaking lies, deceiving you, resulting in your death. So the first thing I try to say is, don't blame God for your false pastors and your false teachers. Okay, so as you see, I just copied and pasted in here. And all you got to do is hit search. Now watch. My hands are here. I'm just trying to... Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, right there. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Let's try it again. There, see, my hands are here. It's going directly to it. Right? That's where the 10 Commandments are. These are the ones I found years ago in my university years. There it is. That's where the 10 Commandments is. Okay? I'll even take you to Leland Jones, if his video is still there. Leland Jones. Hope it's still there. Come on, computer. Get with it. There it is. And these two stones here, they're found in Ohio. You ever notice that the storms are greater there in Ohio right now? The tornadoes? Well, because we're in the Holy Land. Anyways, here we go. I kept pushing this like years ago.
Okay guys, we're here at Las Lunas, New Mexico, and we're here at the place called the Decalogue Stone. We're going to look at this mountain. You can see the mountain behind me. We're going to look at this stone that's written in ancient Paleo-Hebrew, okay? We're going to look at a lot at this mountain. Up above, here, somewhere in this direction, in the top right of the mountain from your view, is a Mazzaroth, Hebrew Mazzaroth signs, okay? And it's been destroyed, guys. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you the Paleo-Hebrew. We're coming to these sites, guys, because we're raising awareness of these things in America, and we're also trying to preserve these sites, but people are destroying them. So we're gonna cover them out. We're gonna take you through. We're gonna show you the Hebrew and many other amazing things of the people that live.
Look at that.
Guys, here we
172.
are, hidden mountain, and you know how they say, "Where's Waldo?" Well, tell me where the stone is.
Remember in the Bible it
This
writes,
is first impressions. The first
right?
moment I'm seeing it.
God hewed a stone.
This is the mountain here, and if we zoom in, there's the Decalogue stone. Okay, we'll get a closer view for
I'm just
you
going
in
to
a second,
close
but
this. It's slowing
it's
down my
amazing
computer.
just to think that, you know, this could just be some mountain, but here we have Paleo-Hebrew. It's hidden things, you know, amazing things. Hey guys, I just want to show you a reference point of the stone. You can see here the size.
I told you God moves mountains. Just trying to show you the truth.
Don't really have a good sense of how large this is. So,
You can just imagine what I was thinking when, you know, knowing that
all the way up to here.
I knew there was something fishy with the Christians and all these religions when
We come down.
I knew something different.
You can see the bottom as reference, and here is the writing. Okay, I want to just show you an overview to show you the scale and size of this stone. Here we are, and
The
we
Navajo
have
refer to that as hidden mountain,
on the Decalogue stone.
otherwise the gateway to heaven.
But we can still read this, and I'm hoping that the video will come out.
You know, the stone or
Here we have I am.
Jacob was watching the angels ascend and descend.
We have a
Well, yeah, that's talking about the Navajo, their practice.
A here.
Because the Navajo, the natives,
I am Yahweh.
are the angels.
Aluhekam, or like it's like Elohim, your God who brought
See, Yah,
or has taken you out of the land